I apologize if this is something you are all already aware of, but just in the off chance that it might be helpful, I thought I'd share it. So my daughter uses a Tobii Dynavox eye gaze computer, and she still uses Communicator, but in the past year or so, she's really started using TD Snap a lot more. I think it just provides her more language and more flexibility. Uh, Last week, she came home from school and something happened, and her main page set had gotten deleted. And this is embarrassing as the tech guy, but we hadn't backed it up recently, and it wasn't connected to her cloud account for Toby, so it wasn't backing up automatically. So we were in a position of having to try to recreate from memory a lot of pages. And at one point, my wife, again, embarrassing as a tech guy, I didn't think of doing this, but my wife had the thought of coming to Gemini, which is the Google AI. So if you look in your waffle, you'll see Gemini, or you can just go to gemini.google.com. And this is an example of what she did. Now, my daughter is a big Swiftie, so obviously we want to give her the opportunity to talk about that on her Toby. So something along these lines was a prompt that my wife had written. So create a 7 by 7 page set for TD Snap. I'm not even bothering with capitals. About Taylor Swift. Include key vocabulary and I'm just thinking of how to word it, and let's say provide an example of linked additional pages to talk about individual albums and songs. Now, this part I'm just adding because I want you to see that it can also do this. Provide instructions for setup and implementation. Okay, give it a minute. Okay, so starts out here with a main idea or main page, and it's giving you the vocabulary words that you can include on the various buttons for a 7 by 7 grid. You can, and let me keep going down through here. So key vocabulary for the main page, it's giving you an explanation of or choices of things that you could do, and then what do you want that TD Snap button to do, speak the message, link, etc. And here it's giving you now the linked additional page of the albums, and then we can go into popular songs, and then it's even giving Swiftie vocab, pulling songs. I like that. Phrases common in the fandom. And then here we have instructions where it's actually kind of talking you through how you would go ahead and set these things up, as well as implementation, modeling and practice, and customization, and that kind of thing. Now, the other thing that's kind of nice is that if you're looking at this and the student that you work with, like, this isn't quite the way they set their pages up or prefer to have their pages set up for Snap, or, I mean, I'm just showing you Snap, but you can do the same thing with other programs as well. You can come up here and you can click on the pencil to edit the prompt, and so I could refine this even further and give it more instructions to say, how I want the pages set up. I want verbs to be in the second column on every page, or whatever, and it'll redo this using that refinement. Okay. Now, what's kind of cool is if I want to hang on to this, I can come down to the bottom and I can export the whole thing. So if I click there, I could export this this whole result. I could export it to Google Docs. I could export it as a draft in email. I can copy it and paste it into my own doc. The other thing that's kind of neat, though, in a case like this, because we're working with this grid layout, is you'll see that underneath each one of them, it has this little button here that says export to sheets. So if I click on that, I can now open in Sheets, and it's taken that and exported that out. And so I could kind of play around with it and customize it and tweak it so that I can lay the buttons out here. So if you don't have the device in front of you to be able to do this, you can still go ahead with all the planning phases just using the spreadsheet like this to kind of pull it all together and plan it out for yourself. Just another example, one of the page sets that we lost was she and her SLP had been going to the local public library in Saranac Lake, and so we were working on a page set for visiting the library vocabulary. So again, same kind of thing here, and this was giving me examples of locations in the library that you might want to include, vocabulary specific to a library you might want to include, and again down here it gives you some things to remember, like color coding, consistent color coding, that kind of stuff. So anyway, kind of cool. Like I said, if this is something you're already aware of or don't need, apologies. It's just something that I came across, my wife and I came across last weekend, and I thought that it was really cool and could be a huge time saver and can help you point you in directions that you might not have initially thought about. But anyway, thanks. Take care.